So, I want to do a personal question first because I know that there's some great things going on in your life.
How much more personal can we get?
Outside of what we just talked about, let's talk about happy personal. You have big plans coming up in just over a month, right?
Great plans.
Yeah.
I met a beautiful person, just unbelievably kind. Her name is Jessica. We met actually the night before the CMAs in New York, which was really, really cool. Yeah, magic at the Marriott Marquis. It was really
So
cool.
how did you meet? Did you see her somewhere across the room?
Yeah, absolutely. She was with two of her best friends.
Yeah.
And they were just laughing, and I thought, my God, they look so happy, and they're just, neat people. And I wandered over and started talking to her friends, and then to her, and she was a country music fan. Or is a
I would hope so. She was at the CMAs.
She is a country music fan. And
that would have to be a prerequisite to even go out with you, though.
Yeah, but she wasn't going to the award show. She was just there that night at the hotel.
Oh, okay.
And she actually, what was so kind, what was so neat to me about meeting her was, we started talking about stuff, and I thought, she's really a beautiful lady, really sweet, and I wonder what she does, And I said, well, what are you doing? And she said, it was like she almost didn't want to tell me. Finally, she said, well, I'm a model. And I went, golly, I said, you act almost embarrassed of it. And she goes, no, I'm not. I said, well, what do you really want to do? She goes, I want to be a mom. And I was so just,
bing, 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 winner.
Yeah, she told me later, she goes, golly, she goes, that would have scared any man off. She goes, I was thinking to myself, what am I saying? But it was the most honest and truthful thing I've ever heard come out of a person's mouth, and just if anybody deserved to be a mom, it's her. She's just a great girl, and the more we talked, we started talking over the next couple of months, and I really enjoyed the conversations, and it got they got better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So right during Christmas, I wanted to go see her, and she was with her family out in Colorado, so I went out, and her dad is great too. We really had a good time together. And he, when we met, he said, I know that Jess really does, starting to care for you and likes you, and he goes, and I think that's good. He said, I don't know you. He said, but, he said, I just want you to know one thing. He goes, Jessica's my firstborn, and still my baby girl. He said, and I'm not afraid to go to jail.
That's great.
This sounds like
I thought he was going to toss the bullet at you.
Yeah.
You're my girl. The next one's coming a lot faster.
But her family she has a super family. Her mom is awesome, and her brother and sisters they're just so cool. I mean, they're just a great family, and it reminds me a lot of my sisters and my little brother. And I just, it feels just like a great match.
Yeah, and too, when you walk into a family, you can feel the dynamic, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go to somebody's house for a holiday, and you walk into a room, you can feel a connection that's going on. I think between a family that really does care about each other. And a family's what you make it, too,
Absolutely, and McClay and Skylar, my two daughters, are just, they adore her so much. And we were walking down to the farmer's market, and checking out Pike Street and all this stuff, and just so happened that the guy behind the counter let me throw a fish, and we were catching them.
Right on.
And the kids were jumping up on the pigs. I don't know what the pigs are, but
it's some sort of fundraiser.
It's a cool deal.
They come out every year.
And they love the pigs, and it's just a neat dynamic with our relationship.
Yeah.
And Jessica, she's just the sweetest person in the whole world, and we're getting married in New Orleans on September 28th at the Ottoman Tea Room, which is right outside the zoo, which is cool.
Yeah.
Got a lot of friends coming.
That's fantastic.
And some of my very best friends are in the wedding, and her best friends. And I feel all the goodness there, and she's so beautiful. I can't wait to see her on our wedding day. I know she's going to look just absolutely stunning and amazing. We're also going to we got a great honeymoon planned out. We're going to Italy.
Ooh!
I've never been, at like a place like that. So I'm stoked about that. And she, one of the cool things that she'd asked me, she goes, have you ever seen Out of Africa? And we watched that movie with Robert Redford and Meryl Streep. And So we're listening to the music, and she goes, she goes, since I was a little girl, she was like 10 or 11 years old when that movie came out. She goes, I've always thought I would love to walk down the aisle to that song. So that's going to be the wedding song.
That's great.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
And it's just, I'm torn up over her.
That's good. May you always be.
I know I will. In the liner notes on the CD, I put in there. I'm thankful for Jessica for showing me that fairy tale love that I always dreamed of.
And everybody deserves that.
Yeah, and it is out there. And as a romantic and as a singer of songs about that kind of thing, I always hoped that there would be that for me. I did not really know that it existed until I met her, and then it's so real. And yeah, there are real moments, whenever we have arguments or spats and stuff like that, like everybody.
You get to make up, Clay, and that's the best
You
part.
do, and I want to tell you something. It is so awesome being with somebody that wants to make up and wants to, and we both do, and it's just we stay mad about 60 seconds. I mean, it's gone, We'll look at each other and start laughing because we know that we want to be together.
Right,
It's just,
right. That the things aren't going to come to a screeching halt because you disagree on something. That's the key.
Right.
The relationship is not going to end because you get into an argument.
That's right. And there are songs on this CD that really do fit our relationship. There's a song on here called "You're My Witness," and I'm gonna sing that to her at our wedding. And that's why I'm so ecstatic about September 28th. She asked me the other day. She said, "Are you getting nervous?" I said, "You know what? Not even a little bit. I get butterflies, but they're happy butterflies.
Yeah.
They're not. I get excited about it."
Yeah.
Is that too syrupy?
No.
I mean, I'm sitting
man,
here
that's great.
babbling on
That's great, and I think there's something about a songwriter, and it takes a songwriter to know how to articulate what most people feel who can't come up with the right words. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I don't find it syrupy at all. I mean, you're saying things that if you're a guy in love, those are the things that you probably think. You just articulate it because you are a songwriter. You articulate it better.
I owe a lot of it to the fans. Whenever you get notes and you get emails and letters and things like that come to you so they have really guided me through my career on what they really like. So.
Well, they are pretty good judges, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And, there's nothing better than hometown fans either. I got to say, that's been great. And here I am sitting here tonight, and I know that you're broadcast everywhere across the U.S., but I almost feel like I'm home right now.
Yeah.
Because I know that this is playing.
You are,
there.
kind of.
Yeah, I know that this is playing there.
We'll get you there in voice.
Absolutely.
So you have the wedding coming up, and then you're gone for 2-3 weeks for your honeymoon?
Right.
And then after that, you get back to reality.
And celebrate our #1 record.
There you go. Got it all plotted out.
Yeah.
Wedding, honeymoon, #1 party.
Can't do it without
May the
fans,
celebrations continue all the way through the year, because I know that you're really busy. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff going on.
This has been the busiest year I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on the road. I spent 4 nights. This summer I spent 4 nights at home. So it's been crazy. And McClay and Scott have been flying, across the country, meeting me in places. And,
right.
It's been great.
Kids with some serious frequent flyer miles at this
point.
point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I wouldn't trade 1 second of it, and I wouldn't give up 1 day of time that I have with them.
Yeah, well, when there is no school going on, they can do that a lot. They can travel and
Yeah,
spend.
they're doing it during school too.
Oh, are they good? Good.
Yeah. I can't go without seeing them.
No, you got to do what you got to do to be a good dad.
And we were talking about your relationship. You have a great relationship with your husband. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the boat and all that. Whenever you're interviewing an artist, and I've heard you do some interviews, with different people. What is it that you think that the fans really want to know?
Personal stuff. I mean, not so personal that it's inappropriately personal. Although I'm sure there are a few who would like to know that. But they want to know. They have to know. I think, because I'm this way as a fan, that we're all alike. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Regardless of the fact that you do this for a living,
right?
We all are cut of the same cloth. there's some. That's why there are country fans, because they know those people who sing and write those songs are pretty much like them. So they're looking for that connection, that Are We Alike connection, and they want to know, how you're doing and how your family is, and they want to know
is there something
the things that you like and the things that make you happy, and they want to know just little personal nuggets so they can feel like they know you better.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And I'm sure you know that. I mean, people know. You read your fan mail, and you read the emails that you get, and you know the questions that you get. I mean, barring a few that are completely inappropriate. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, people want to feel like they know you.
You know what I like?
They can walk away from from listening to an interview feeling like they just had a conversation with you.
Absolutely. I like that description. I was driving through Iuka, Mississippi, visiting a friend of mine, Rusty Walker, who happens to be in radio and a consultant. And we went to this little place in Iuka, Mississippi called the Rib Shack or Rib Cage, and we were eating ribs, and this guy comes up to me and he says, Clay, he says, my sister got married today. He goes, and she's your biggest fan. He goes, is there any way you could say hello to her? I said, sure. So we went out back, and the reception was gorgeous. It was on this, there was water back in this, it was just beautiful. And, there was a guy playing guitar. I said, hey, can I grab your guitar? And he goes, sure, man. And like there's about 150 people out there. Seriously, they were like so excited that you could tell that people were starting to notice. They were like, is that him? I heard people talking, whispering and stuff, and finally they looked up and they realized it was me. But the dad never took his eyes off of his daughter, and he'd been crying. And I could tell this. He kind of had his head down. I could tell his eyes were red and really watery.
Right.
And he wasn't ready to let go of his daughter.
Yeah.
At least that's what I grasped from it, And what was cool is I thought, what song am I going to do? And because I saw the tears in his eyes, I was thinking, before the next teardrop falls, but dedicated from him to her.
Oh, my gosh.
Now imagine a dad saying this. I want you to listen to the song in a minute and listen to it in this context. The dad saying it to the daughter.
Oh, yeah.
So
that totally works.
And I ended up playing there for about an hour, and a little over an hour. I mean, I didn't want to get down to, I didn't get any.
You changed their whole. I mean,
Well, they gave me Coronas. So we sat there after about 5 Coronas. I was
You're like, let's play another one.
Let's just do another one. But it was a great, unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
Great night. And I left. Well, 4 years later, that song kept coming across my mind. I started doing it live.
Uh-huh.
Seriously, and singing the Spanish part. And being from Texas, I wanted to learn some Spanish, so I started teaching myself Spanish over that 4-year period. And I called Freddie and asked him to do Before the Next Teardrop Falls with me.
Right.
And I knew it was a big risk, that probably getting turned down. And he said he wanted some time to think about it. Well, he'd been diagnosed with cancer previously to that.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me back, and he said, I want to do it. I want to come to Nashville and record it with you. So he flew to Nashville, and we met outside the studio, and we were standing there talking, and I hugged his neck, and I have so much admiration for him, and just what an incredible human being, and a great singer.
Yeah.
And Freddie goes, he said, Clay, he said, I've been asked hundreds of times to do this exact thing, and he said, he said, something in my heart told me to do this with you. And we recorded that song, and it's one of the most magical, if not the most magical thing I've ever done. And we recorded it together in the studio together at the same time.
That's great. And that doesn't happen much anymore when duets.
It's rare that you see it. But he told me something before we started. He said, I want you to know one thing. He said, this is not just a song. He said, it's a piece of my heart. And I got choked up. I couldn't help it. And I was just like, goodness gracious. And we recorded it, and I couldn't be more proud of it. But the thing I think about is I'm going to sing this to my daughters one day, and I think about them every single time I sing this, because I don't think that there's any kind of relationship that you can compare but the one between a father and a daughter. you know, the emotions that you feel for them, the protectiveness, the
Mhm.
love that you feel,
Mhm.
and you know, it pretty much says it all. You know, you want them to find a great man. I mean, I hope my daughters find really wonderful men to marry, and I just want them to know that this song holds true for me. That if he ever breaks their heart, you know, I'll be there before the next teardrop falls.
So, when are you gonna release this song as a single?
I don't know. I want it to be. I really do. If I had my
Is
choice,
there
I
an
would.
extra kind of some extra hoops that you have to jump through?
There is.
Yeah.
There's a special thing about it, though. There's a lot of talk about releasing it to Hispanic radio because I
Okay.
sing the Spanish part.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
And I think it'd be a huge country hit. It's a #1 hit in 1970.
Oh my gosh!
Whatever.
And that was the first concert I went to my whole entire life.
Are you serious?